You cashed the check, just like we did. You cashed the check. You should have still been pushing for more, but instead you cashed out and you decided you're gonna live your best life and you're gonna live all the freedoms that your forefathers didn't get a chance to live. And okay, all right, time to pay up.
Yep.
Because these same evil ass conservatives, because that's who it is, these
Yep.
evil ass conservatives, just as evil as they've always been, they evil. The children gonna be evil. The grandchildren gonna be evil. The great grandchildren gonna be evil. And I heard one thing today. I was listening to a speech about white nationalism and white supremacy today. And sorry about the lady who doesn't like speeches, but I was listening to that video today, and he was talking about, well, the browning of America will deliver us from all of this. No, the hell it won't.
It won't.
Because you know who don't like black folks? Who really, really, really don't like black folks? Elite people, period. So
Yep.
you got
Hmm.
Indian folk and Pakistani folk that came over here. They about as brown as I am, but
Yep.
they have been accepted into whiteness.
Yep.
Right.
You got various levels of the Asian community accepted into
Mm-hmm.
whiteness.
Yep.
Whiteness is a flexible thing because whiteness is not a distinct group. So
Mm-hmm.
y'all keep thinking this shit sweet if you want to. These motherfuckers evil, and they're gonna keep killing people, and they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. And then I'm done. Thank you very much. There you go.
Is
I'm
this
going.
lady a troll? Because she can't really mean this. I think
I
she's
don't think
fake,
she was
right?
serious.
I
No,
don't think
I don't think
she
she
was
was
doing
serious.
this for like comedy effect, right? Right? Right?
I,
Personally, I think you're right, Tracy.
I don't think so. And the
No,
sad
because of the way
part,
the whole
here's
way
the
she
It's
sad
did it was
like
part
it
like
about
was
it.
like
kind of
so
comical.
convenient.
But here's the funny thing about it, though. Here's the this is what's so effed up about this country, so to speak, that we're questioning it: is it a troll or is it real?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we're literally questioning it: was she being serious or was she making a joke? We're questioning it, and right now at this point it's 50-50. We don't know if she was serious. We don't know if she was joking. Because the funny thing about it is, if she was serious, we have seen it before. If she was
Mm.
joking, we have seen it before. We have seen people that are serious. But I'm going to send a challenge out to the conservatives. I'm going to send a challenges out. You're not going to take it. I honestly know that beyond a shadow of a doubt you're not. But I'm going to send a challenge out to you. I let's go ahead and believe that what you fear is absolutely real. Let's stretch our minds as far as we possibly can. Okay, just hear me out. That the fears that you have are absolutely real. The people that you are fearing, the groups that you are fearing are real. Here is the challenge that I give to you. Then find the real corporate. Find those people who are really doing harm to your children. Find the real ones. Put the pictures up of the trans that have been arrested or you have knowledge of doing damage to kids. Would that not be newsworthy? Would that not be something that you really need to know who these people are? Stretch your just hear me out. Just find those people, whoever it is that you say are dangerous to the country and we're going to hell and all that. Cool. Find those real people then. Don't just plaster up people who was arrested for assault and go, well, you know, they ain't gonna read fast enough to really realize what they. No, 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 no. Because to me, what you're doing is you're letting the real people who are doing damage to kids in any way, shape, or form off the hook. With anybody on this panel, anybody in the audience, will feel bad if there are trans people out there that's doing damage to kids? Would you not want to know who these people are?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to know the people, these predators who's going to libraries reading books to kids and they're doing bad things? Would you not want to know who these people are? Would you not want to see their faces? Would you not want to see them go to jail? Cool. Tell me who those people are. Tell me what their charges are. But here is the thing. You're not going to take the challenge because it's easy to say as soon as a trans read a book, they're the villains.
Well,
It's
I'm
easier
gonna
that way.
say.
Let me finish real quick. It's
Oh, I thought you
easier
did.
to,
I'm sorry.
it's easier for you to do that because conservatives are not only liars, they are lazy. You're not going to put research into this. You're just not going to do it. Everybody keeps looking at me when I say something like they have a laminated piece of paper. If you don't know what a laminated piece of paper is you take a paper that has all the instructions on it and you put the piece of paper between a plastic film. You do that to protect the paper because 9 out of 10, those rules and regulations or whatever you laminated is not going to change anytime soon. So when I say that the conservatives have a laminated paper, we're going to say this, this, and this, and this, it's because that's what it is. These are our rules and regulations. They're not going to change anytime soon. We need to protect it. So anytime that we have an issue, we'll just bring this piece of paper back out. And let's say that there's 10 of them, 10 rules and regulations. You will go from 1 to 5. You'll go from 6 to 10. And when that goes, that timeline, you'll start back at number 1. The time frame changes as time goes on, but your attacks don't. Because remember what we've said on this show for years. We have receipts. We've always had receipts on this show. It don't have to be true. It just has to be said. Go ahead, Theus.
No, I was just gonna say, like you were saying, go find these people, but you made the challenge to crazy people. Not I'm crazy ain't the right word. You made the challenge to people who have malicious intent. So, and I say it's not
Mm-hmm.
they're not crazy because they're a sound mind. They just have malicious intent, right? Their real fear is
Villain.
is the diminution of authority, power, and privilege. That's their real issue,
Mm-hmm.
right? So anything that can water that down, they're against. That's why if you look at this conservative movement right now, they're attacking each other as just at the same time they're attacking everybody else, right? They're against black people and anything that could mean black. They're against immigrant people and anything that could seem like it's an immigrant. They're against the queer community and anything that can be associated with queerness. Because let's just be real, in my opinion anyway, and I could be wrong here, being a cross dresser is not the same thing as being a member of the queer community. It just means that you're a cross dresser. This is identity versus sexual orientation going on here, folks. So you've supplanted your hatred for trans people because they are changing genders, and because it's hard to find them, you've decided to go after cross dressers who are oftentimes performers, and we've allowed
Mm-hmm.
them uninterrupted to be that way for more than 100 years. That's why you could find MTG's boyfriend person's thing from the news because it's
Yeah.
always been acceptable. It's just part of comedy for a man to dress up like a woman and be silly. That's always been there. It never did we look at that and say that makes you gay. When Flip Wilson was doing it, that didn't make him gay. When Richard Pryor or anybody else, that didn't make him gay. When all these comedians, it didn't make them gay. We didn't even look at it that way. It's only because now you were offended, you fake offended against trans because you think it's really easy to go against anything that makes you feel like it's creepy,
Yeah.
right? Which is why, like what Anna touched on earlier, it's safer for a woman and a woman to be together walking the streets than a man and a man. Because when you see a woman and a woman, the male mind says, maybe that's a threesome. I can get in on that, right? But if you see a dude and a dude, now that challenges your sexuality. That challenges your identity. Ooh, that's kind of, ew, that's creepy. That's icky. So now you want to attack it. So
Yeah.
anything that's different is how that stuff shakes out.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here looking at it, man. And I'm like, look, just identify who your enemies are and be ready to fight them. But instead, too many of y'all want to make friends with the people you're supposed to be fighting. Like they're supposed to just convert somehow. It's not going to happen. Okay. Transvestites, the terms get me a little confused. I know transvestite is like your vestment. So you're wearing clothing that is generally supposedly for the opposite sex, right? Then you got
Gender
transgender
bending
when
and
you're
yes.
moving to another gender. You know, you've literally changed your whole identity and makeup to be
Mm-hmm.
physically the opposite. And then
Mm-hmm.
you got what trans. There's a bunch of other ones out there.
There's
But at the end of the
transsexual.
day,
There's
yeah, but at the end of the day, people just living their life.
yeah.
So when you were talking about go find me the real ones, my take is slightly different. I don't want y'all asses to go find nobody. Leave everybody alone because you're not gonna do it right. Y'all gonna do like the Salem witch trial and be like, let's throw her in the lake. And if
Mm-hmm.
she sinks, she's not a witch. And if
Yeah.
she floats, she is a witch, and we have to kill her. Either way,
Yeah.
she's dead. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's these are the same people. So if we want to find out who's harming these children, here's how I would say do it. Look at all the people who commit crimes against children and then draw profiles. Like we're real good at profiling people. Draw a profile.
Yeah.
And then based on the preponderance of who's doing the most damage, work your way down that list. So now you're going to have to go through the preachers, the teachers, the foster parents, the doctors, the nurses, the all. There's a whole lot of people that run a lot thicker than the few transgender people that you say you're really up against. You don't care about the kids. If you cared about the kids, you want to make sure they were fed. If you cared about the kids, you want to make sure they were housed. If you cared about the kids, you wouldn't have stopped the one of the few good things the Biden administration did outside of the war thing and stuff like in COVID, right? Give you props. You did good with Ukraine. You did good with COVID. But
The
when you
tax
dropped the
credit.
ball, Biden administration, of course, the excuse me, legal protections, right? John Lewis Act, which needed to be better
Yeah.
than even that thing
Yeah.
is. But then also, you passed the ability to extend the tax credit that lifted 40% of children out of poverty. But because you got
E-
one jackass senator, you took it all back, pushed all those kids right back into poverty, and gave him a pipeline. So I think we just
He's
mad at the
blaming
wrong
it.
things.
Oh,
We mad at the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
That's my cousin-in-law. I guess I could say that's cheat code on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Let everybody know,
oh,
hello, Chico.
What's
Something is
good?
wrong with StreamYard that the messages that's on YouTube is not rolling over to StreamYard. So I
Yeah.
have to read some of these things out and I can't put them up because something is going on where it's not showing up.
Okay.
Parker said, don't forget about Jesse Jackson running for president in the 80s. That was the one thing that happened in that time period that was notable. I wasn't around, humble brag. I wasn't around, but I knew about it from when I read it.
He
Also,
read it
Parker also
on
said,
a cave wall because it happened back in the Stone Age.
Parker
Parker,
also
I'm
said,
so
also
proud
Rodney
of
King
you and how much you do learn about history.
Parker also said, "Don't forget about Rodney King in '92," and we did a story of
Yep.
the riot on this show too. So please go back and take a look at that. The L.A.
We
protest, not the L.A. riots.
we talked about what is the correct word.
So
Yeah.
we got to make sure that we
It's
use
an
the
interesting talk.
terminology that. Dang, we've been on so long. I actually can say that